Imagine the first blade of dawn light falling over the harbor of Alexandria in the year 150 AD during the mild Mediterranean winter. The air still carries the salty dampness of the night, and the first seagulls cut across the sky with sharp cries, blending with the creaking of ropes and wet wood. The sun is just rising over the horizon, staining the sea with fractured gold. Dozens of ships sway gently, as if breathing. We are standing in one of the most important cities of the Eastern Roman Empire, a metropolis, likely home to over 400,000 people, where Egyptians, Greeks, Romans, Jews, and merchants from across the Mediterranean coexist in a constant rhythm of trade, knowledge, and survival. Alexandria is not just a city, it is a living organism, and its harbor is its heart. This scene has been reconstructed using artificial intelligence, drawing from historical sources, archaeology, and ancient texts to bring you as close as possible to what it felt like to live here, not as information, but as an experience. If you enjoy this kind of content, where history breathes again before your eyes, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support is what allows us to keep rebuilding these lost worlds. The harbor is already alive before the day fully begins. Voices echo in Koine Greek, commands are shouted in Latin, and everyday Egyptian fills the air. The smell is impossible to ignore. Sea salt, freshly cut fish from improvised stalls, spilled olive oil, and the sweet, intense aroma of spices arriving from Arabia and India. What would it feel like to wake up each day in a place where the entire world seems to converge on a single dock? Let's step into the port and approach the line where land ends and commerce begins. The outer streets are chaotic, narrow, vibrant, alive. Dust mixed with desert sand clings to the skin as carts groan over worn stone. Dock workers, bare-chested or dressed in simple linen tunics, unload amphorae sealed with resin. Some hold Spanish wine, others Syrian oil, others grain from the Nile, destined to feed Rome. The air trembles with hammer blows, the neighing of horses, and the constant murmur of negotiation. Facing the harbor stand white stone and weathered marble structures, warehouses, imperial tax offices, watchtowers. Their heavy wooden doors, reinforced with iron, bear the marks of centuries of use. From the outside, everything looks functional, even austere. But inside, the world changes. Let's step into one of these great port warehouses. The first chamber is the horium, a grain store. The floor is cold stone, dusted with a thin layer of golden wheat powder. Massive sacks are stacked nearly to the wooden beams above. The air is thick, heavy, with the scent of grain, moisture, and unseen rodents moving in the shadows. Roman officials record every shipment on wax tablets. Control of grain is control of power. Further in, a quieter administrative room. Greek scribes bend over low tables, fingers stained with black ink. Here, everything is calculated: taxes, tariffs, cargo, routes. The scratching of styluses against wax is constant, almost hypnotic. We step back outside, toward the main dock. Here, life explodes. Merchant ships line the harbor like sleeping giants, sails folded. Their hulls are scarred by long journeys, Asia Minor, Cyprus, the Aegean, even beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Sailors unload wooden chests, spice sacks, papyrus rolls, fine ceramics. And at the center of it all, like an eternal sentinel, rises the Lighthouse of Alexandria, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, towering over 100 meters high. Even by day, it stands as a symbol of power, guidance, and control over the sea. But let's leave the harbor behind and step into daily life inside a nearby home, where wealthy merchants or imperial officials live between two worlds, the chaos outside and the order within. From the street, the house appears closed and guarded high walls of white stone and adobe, a reinforced wooden door, almost no windows. The noise of the city softens as we cross the threshold. Inside, We enter the vestibulum, a narrow passage leading inward. The floor is decorated with worn mosaics, geometric patterns, faint images of dolphins, and knotted ropes. The air is cooler here, protected from the harsh sun. We move into the atrium, the heart of the house. Light pours in through an opening in the roof, the compluvium, illuminating a small pool below, the impluvium, where rainwater collects. The gentle sound of water fills the space. On the walls, faded frescoes depict mythological scenes: Neptune, Isis, Hermes, gods of trade, travel, and fate. To one side lies the tablinum, the master's office. Contracts, seals, wax tablets are stored here. The smell of dry papyrus and ink lingers in the air. Further inside are the private rooms, the cubicula, small spaces with wooden beds and wool mattresses. Linen curtains offer a fragile sense of privacy. The air feels heavier, more intimate, infused with oils and fabric. The kitchen, the culina, is separate. The fire never fully goes out. Smoke rises constantly toward a small vent. The heat is intense, almost suffocating. Large bronze pots simmer over open flames, while oil crackles loudly. What do people eat in a city like this? Hard wheat bread, black olives preserved in brine, Mediterranean fish, and garum, a fermented fish sauce prized across the empire. Spices from India and Arabia elevate even simple meals. Food is not just sustenance, it is status. It is connection to the wider world. Water is stored in sealed amphorae. Wine is common, but usually diluted to soften its strength. And yet, life here is far from easy. Hygiene is a constant challenge. There are no modern sanitation systems. Latrines, private or communal, connect to water channels. Bathing involves cold water and scented oils, later scraped off the skin with metal tools called strigils. Outside, dust, waste, and heat create conditions where disease spreads easily. Rats, insects, and humidity are part of everyday life, but so are remedies: aromatic herbs, burning incense, careful ventilation, and open courtyards designed to circulate air. Inside the home, hierarchy is absolute. The dominus sleeps in the most protected chamber: raised bed, heavy curtains, valuable personal items. Servants, meanwhile, sleep in shared quarters, near the kitchen, or along inner corridors. Their clothing is simpler, their food more basic, their education minimal or purely practical. Children add another layer to this world. They play in the courtyard with clay dolls, bone dice, wooden figures. Some, in wealthy families, learn to read and write from a young age. Others begin working as early as 7 or 8. Childhood here is brief. Animals are part of the household as well: guard dogs, cats that keep rodents in check, exotic birds brought by traders, horses for transport. Each serves a purpose within the fragile balance of domestic life. And beyond the walls, the world never stops entering. Caravans bring ivory from Africa, silk from the East, glass from Syrian workshops, marble from Greece. Alexandria is a point of convergence, a place where everything meets. Even ancient technology reveals itself here: port cranes, hydraulic systems distributing water, libraries preserving knowledge on papyrus scrolls. Because this is also the city that inherited the legacy of the Great Library of Alexandria, a symbol of human knowledge, where thousands of scrolls once attempted to contain everything humanity had discovered. And now, the day begins to fade. The sun sinks slowly into the Mediterranean, painting the harbor in shades of orange and red. Shadows stretch across the docks. Voices soften, grow tired. Oil lamps flicker to life one by one inside homes and warehouses, small islands of light floating in the growing darkness. The sound of water against the ships becomes clearer. The wind carries the scent of the open sea and of rest. And in that suspended moment between the noise of day and the silence of night, Alexandria breathes as if the entire world had passed through it and now simply rests in its memory. Because this city, this harbor, this moment is not just history. It is an echo of who we once were when the world was still being built through trade, curiosity, and the meeting of civilizations. If you want to keep traveling through time and exploring other lost worlds, forgotten cities, invisible empires, everyday lives that no longer exist, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and tell us in the comments which era you'd like to see brought back to life next.